You are listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, social, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. Visit exopolitics.org and sign up to receive our email notifications, news, and information. Be informed and be aware with Exopolitics Today. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
Plans for a Star Trek future began with US Navy in the 1950s. In March 2019, US Air Force Space Command organized a Space Futures workshop that examined 8 scenarios of what would happen in space over the next 40 years. Each scenario was evaluated in terms of its civil, commercial, and military impact on Earth and in space. 60 experts from multiple national space programs, aerospace corporations, and military organizations from around the world attended the workshop. Of the 8 scenarios, the experts chose a Star Trek future as the optimal outcome that humanity should strive to achieve by the year 2060. It's no accident that a Star Trek future is being actively pursued by the US military and its major allies for future space operations. Most assume Gene Roddenberry created his Star Trek TV series as a work of fiction in 1966. The truth is much more startling. Roddenberry was secretly briefed about the operations of a future US Navy space program that would lead humanity in joining an interplanetary organization similar to his fictional United Federation of Planets. Today, we know that fictional interplanetary organization was based on a real-life Galactic Federation of Worlds. We also know, thanks to insiders such as William Tompkins, who worked at Douglas Aircraft Company from 1950 to 1963, that the Galactic Federation was secretly helping the Navy design and build future fleets of interstellar-capable space carriers, destroyers, and support craft. Today, the 8 fleets of Navy space battle groups are widely known as Solar Warden and are led by cigar-shaped space carriers. One of the space carriers was seen by British hacker Gary McKinnon in 2002. The relationship between the US Navy and the Galactic Federation of Worlds has become so close that the next generation of space carriers due for release in the 2030s is being built nowhere on Earth, but in the space docks of a planet in another solar system, according to Tompkins. Behind the scenes, US Navy admirals played a vital role in seeding the idea of a Star Trek future in Hollywood as part of a long-term psychological operation to prepare humanity for their optimal future. It was the son of Vice Admiral Leslie Stevens III who headed the Navy's Psychological Operations Division that recruited Roddenberry into the Navy's plans to use Hollywood to shape public expectations of the future. Leslie Stevens IV, the creator of the Outer Limits TV series, which revealed many breakthrough technologies gained from reverse engineering of extraterrestrial spacecraft, briefed Roddenberry about the future Navy space program and its collaboration with the Galactic Federation. With the publication of the March 2019 Space Futures Workshop, all is set for plans to create a Star Trek future moving into high gear. This requires the creation of a unified political military command in space, something very similar to Roddenberry's Starfleet. The future Starfleet would offer military protection for commercial and civil space activities. The rebooting of US Space Command in August 2019 and the creation of Space Force as a new military service 4 months later were critical steps towards the creation of this Star Trek future. In addition, in October 2020, the Artemis Accords were signed, making it possible for a multinational space alliance to be created with the US at its core. Since the launch of the Artemis Accords between the US and 8 other countries, 4 more spacefaring nations have signed on. This has made the Artemis Accords the most popular international agreement for regulating the behaviour of spacefaring nations in our solar system. In 2021, the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy and Australia authorised the creation of space commands within their respective militaries, and all plan to closely coordinate with the US Space Command. In the meantime, an attempt by Russia and China to set up their own multinational space alliance through a joint lunar research station has failed to gain international support. All these developments, most of which occurred during the presidential administration of Donald Trump, occurred with the guidance of the Galactic Federation, according to Professor Haim Eshed, the father of Israel's space program. Finally, in July 2021, the Galactic Federation of Worlds held a series of meetings near Jupiter with representatives from 14 of Earth's major spacefaring nations to discuss the future of our solar system. The meetings were a result of the looming military defeat of negative extraterrestrial races, the Dark Fleet, and the Deep State in controlling the Earth, Moon, Mars, and the rest of our solar system. This made the Jupiter meetings functionally similar to the 1945 Yalta Conference that occurred 3 months before the collapse of Nazi Germany. Key aspects of the Jupiter meetings coincide with what is known about the growing popularity of the Artemis Accords among spacefaring nations and the failure of the China-Russia Moonbase initiative in attracting international support. The result of the Jupiter meetings is that a comprehensive international framework now exists for the creation of a Star Trek future. To learn more about the Jupiter meetings, visit exopolitics.org for a series of free articles and interviews discussing them. Would you like to learn more about how Star Trek was based on real-life galactic issues and multiple extraterrestrial races? How growing military cooperation in space will lead to a modern-day Starfleet? How the Galactic Federation's history of cooperation with the US Navy's secret space program dates back to the 1950s. How the Artemis Accords paved the way for Earth eventually joining an interplanetary association, the Galactic Federation of Worlds. How the attempt to create a galactic tyranny originating from the Earth, Moon and Mars has failed and led to the collapse of the Dark Fleet, Deep State and their extraterrestrial allies in a temporal war. To learn more about these and other exciting new developments, join me for my all-new webinar, Our Star Trek Future, on September 11, 2021. This has been Dr. Michael Sala with Exopolitics Today.